Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's video is going to be a quick, easy tutorial video on how to make a Jon Snow costume. Here with the finale coming up next week, my fiance and I decided that we were going to have a Game of Thrones finale party and also have a theme party and people come dressed up and stuff like that. I think it'd make it a lot more fun. And I haven't made a cosplay in a while, so I figured why not give Jon Snow a try. I wrestled back and forth on who to do. I really wanted to do Night King, but not gonna lie, I was a little disappointed with kind of the Night King's role this season. He was played up to be a bigger character than what he ultimately ended up being. And I don't know, he had nothing interesting for me there. So his look was cool, and that's about as far as he went there. So I figured, why not go as Jon Snow? Almost everything you're going to see me use today to make this costume I found at a thrift store. I think the most expensive items were the fur that I'm going to put along the cape. Other than that, it's either clothing that I had or stuff that I found at the Goodwill for a really good price. And I'm going to try to show you guys the cheapest way that you can pull off this look. Now I know Jon Snow has a lot of different looks in the on the show, whether he's north of the wall, whether he's still in the Night's Watch, depending on what season. So we're going off for a general overall look of Jon Snow. We're going to kind of be piecing stuff here and there from different seasons, from different times in Jon's life throughout the show. And just to get the overall look, there's some things that you have to have. You have to have leather gloves, you have to have the black cape with the fur on there. Those are almost musts. Alright guys, so this is just an overview of all the supplies that we have. We're going to be trying to do a mix of looks here, which is absolutely fine. But there's still some things, like we said earlier, with Jon Snow that you kind of have to have. So first off, for me, what the first thing I wanted to get right was the cape. So I found this really cool Dracula cape. I don't know how good you guys can see that, but it's very long, and it also has like this kind of, I guess, lapel kind of collar thing going on, which is going to be awesome because it's going to give us a base to cleanly glue on this fur that we found on Amazon here, and that's going to look really cool, kind of draped over. You guys see kind of in the when we start to work on that, but I'm going to save that for last. For this costume, I'm going to work inwards with the clothing and kind of work out. So that's gonna look really cool. We've got some fake leather material here for what kind of goes across the cape there. We'll work on that in a minute. We've got a few belts, because from all the reference photos that I've seen, he's got a really long belt that kind of holds the sword, and they generally also wear a belt kind of in the midsection. And so we're gonna cut these up and make this into one really long belt. Got these for a really good price. We got the classic black undershirt. It's just a basic undershirt I've had for a long time. You can see right there stains. It's got a couple holes in it. It'll work perfect for an undershirt. Exactly what we're looking for. So yeah guys, this is a quick overhaul. Oh, I also got these sweet boots. Now obviously they're not perfect, but we're gonna kind of cut the tabs here maybe, and yeah, I think they'll work out. They're perfectly scuffed, so I mean, it's not gonna look perfect, but I think with the overall pieces together, it'll look pretty awesome. Alright guys, for this costume, we're gonna start working in and then work our way out of the costume. So first off is the shirt. So now this shirt, I found this shirt on at Goodwill. It's about $2.99 or so. It's just a regular button-up shirt, but it was the right material and obviously the right color. So what we're gonna do, and also the proper collar. If you notice, they don't really have kind of standard collars in any kind of Game of Thrones costume, so they've just got the flat collar like that. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and just cut the sleeves off of this. And then this is a little bit longer, too big for me, which is perfect, because if you notice, a lot of the times the men's shirts will kind of go like just below the knee and then taper off here like with a belt. That's kind of how they'll do it. So it'll be almost like a dress, so to speak. But yeah, let me go ahead and get working on this, and I'll show you guys what we're talking about. Alright guys, here's the shirt cut out. We went ahead and took the sleeves off of it. Now what we're gonna do here next is go ahead and take these buttons off, because in Game of Thrones you kind of never see anybody wearing like just your traditional buttons. So we're gonna pop these off, and I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do with this. We're gonna go ahead and instead of using buttons to button up the shirt, we're gonna get some shoestring, like an old black or black or brown boot string, and we're actually gonna tie it around and create two pieces right here coming down. It's kind of showing how you would traditionally kind of tie it around those times. It's kind of hard to explain, but once I come pop these off and run the shoestring through, I'll show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so as you can see, I went ahead and put on the black undershirt, put the shirt over it, and we ran the shoestring all the way through, and we just kind of threaded it kind of like you would a shoe or anything like that. Then, like I said, this is a little, like I said earlier, this is a little bit bigger, and that's absolutely fine. Then we'll go ahead and just use the belt as kind of like a taper line and bring that in. And I think just for right now, I think this is a really good look. I went ahead and put the belt a little looser, because if you notice in the reference photos, the belt that comes kind of across the waist is always a little bit longer, and we can honestly even use this to slip the sword through. So we may not need the extra belt, but we'll see when it comes time. But yeah guys, this is the look so far. Alright, so the next step is going to be cutting out the leather pieces that run across the chest of the Northmen's kind of cape or whatnot they call it. So we're going to trace out the shape. Now how I see it online, it's a shape that starts wide and kind of goes smaller as it kind of runs down. And what we're going to do is glue that to the underside of the cape, so it really doesn't matter how long we cut these, we can always readjust it. So all you're going to see is the leather running across. Alright guys, we went ahead and cut out the leather strips, so this is what we got. And if you guys are familiar with the show, you kind of already see what I'm trying to do. So we made them a little bit longer. Now make sure that you measure how long it's going to be from your shoulder till about just underneath your armpit, because they're going to glue those underneath your cape, and you kind of only got one shot with those, okay? This stuff is expensive and you don't want to mess up. So yeah, make sure you measure twice and cut once. Alright guys, so this is the entire costume. I forgot to mention earlier, I did have the gloves. These are Darth Vader gloves, and I think this is honestly the closest thing to what you see on screen being used. These were like, I think another $12 or so on Amazon. I did a Darth Vader costume about a year, 2 years ago, and I just had them in my closet, and I think they absolutely work perfectly. So yeah guys, this is the full look. I went ahead, these are just my Under Armour just workout tights I'm wearing. I think what really pulls the look together is honestly, you have to nail the cape when doing a Game of Thrones cosplay or costume, just because the cape is so like the central focus for the Northerners. Almost everybody has that same type of look. I'll do a quick turnaround. And I think the back of the cape in the show kind of looks like a whole kind of maybe like wolf pelt, but I think this works for the front and side right here. I also have a sword here. This is just my sword that I have. Not long claw, but it's all good. And then I think I am gonna make a separate belt for the sword, because I like the sword hanging a little bit lower, but I'll show you what it looks like on the waist belt. Kind of just something like that. Not as comfortable. I think I am gonna try to find another longer leather belt and kind of make it separate on its own. But I think overall guys, the look is good. Pretty solid for a one-day build. The entire costume cost me about $30, and it honestly, just because this thing right here was, it's actually $18 after taxes and everything, and then we had the leather for the material, and everything else was just the thrift store finds. I think the boots, I was gonna alter them, but I think they work perfect. The party's gonna be at night, so it doesn't really have to be screen accurate, and I just, shoestring budget for a cosplay like, or costume like this. I'm only going to be wearing it one night. I think this came out really awesome. So it goes to show you, just with simple techniques and just kind of hunting through thrift stores, you can really find an awesome cosplay. And so, yeah, guys, I hope you followed along. I hope you like it. Any questions, concerns, or comments, please drop them down below. Yeah, and have a great weekend and enjoy the finale. I'm really hoping it ends up being awesome.